Hello everyone, welcome back to Presley at Worlds Blue Belt Edition. And the first thing I'm going to point out to you is the stand-up exchange in this match. See how we're just basically running around, both looking kind of clueless. I will repeat the exchange again. No grips are made, nothing, just kind of a race to bottom, race to guard like happens in a lot of matches. Show you one more time, and this is honestly embarrassing to watch for me, and my takedown ability is just so bad. And I'm just pointing this out to show you because I imagine most people that are watching this are white and blue belts, that you have to develop some kind of takedown ability. And most of the time it comes later for jiu-jitsu people. They just develop it later on. You usually get good off your back, then you get good on top, then you develop your takedowns and kind of other things you can add to your game. But now when I teach, I teach all my students to have some kind of wrestling ability, some kind of takedown ability. You don't want to look like this on the feet. Because what's going to happen is I'm going to end up getting up off of this double guard pole, which should be an advantage, but I didn't notice one given by the referee. And now I'm on top trying to pass, which I essentially could have accomplished the same thing by just letting him pull guard. But nonetheless, I'm on top. And as I mentioned before in the last video, I noticed that I have a real bad ability to not really break grips. Another thing you should be able to do is kind of watch yourself on video and be able to see the holes in your game. Obviously, this is 10 years ago, so I've hopefully closed this hole up. But, you could even watch a roll from yesterday or today and try to watch it kind of outside your own head and see what you're doing wrong. Not a whole lot is happening in this match. He has double sleeve control. He's playing a similar game to me, like that outside De La Hiva. I used that successfully in the last match. But here I'm just kind of relying on my base, balance, trying to have one leg forward. Remember, my strategy was always to score first. Then I would just be very confident with the lead and then look to attack submissions from there. At this point, the score is tied, 0-0. He has me locked up in closed guard. So not to say that I'm nervous, but, I like to get a lead as quick as I can. And he was holding on super tight here. This is actually a rematch. I had a match against this guy at the Miami Open a few months prior. He was a good friend of a friend of mine. So I beat him before, which usually people are confident in rematches. I find around these parts where I'm from, Nova Scotia, people tend to not like rematches, and I'm not really sure why. I can think of jiu-jitsu rivalries like Roger Federer and Nadal or whatever the other tennis guy is. They've played each other 20, 30 times, and they just do it. They draw each other in the bracket or face each other in the final. They do it. They're not like, oh, I already beat him, It's a chance for you to show how you've gotten better and also your opponent. So anyways, I'm trying to work the pass here, find my way to half guard. Remember, that's always my strategy at the time, trying to pass, get one leg in between his legs, get chest to chest, try to pin my opponent down. You can see how he's kind of trying to push me away with that cross shoulder post. I mentioned that before in a previous pressure passing defense video, which you can check out. He kind of looks at the time. You should always keep your eyes on the action. He takes the underhook, and now I'm going to have to fight to get that back. See how I kind of take a grip over his back? I'm looking to work a pass there, but as long as he has that underhook, it's going to make my pass kind of ineffective. Looks like I'm maybe trying to go for like a Darce or something here. Back to the cross face. He's fighting it off. And now he's going to attack a guillotine, and in my opinion, this is not a smart choice because guillotines from half guard are pretty low percentage unless you already have it locked up tight and just, are able to get it. But what he's doing here, he's letting me get chest to chest, and he's letting me hug his neck, which is not good. And also, once he lets go of the guillotine here, see where his arm position is? It's going to let me pin my head in between the floor and his arm. And then it lets me get my leg out and step around, hold him down. Now I got the guard pass. So see, that just all came from pinning the head and shoulders down. And now a lot of times when you're in side control, another common mistake is people just try to attack too quick. Especially in tournament, you should let your opponent burn some energy. Just focus on holding your position. See how I'm just kind of chest to chest, hugging his neck, trying to grab for the shoulder. You're really just focusing on distributing your weight on your opponent. Don't get too excited and try to jump for a mount or an armbar or something right away. You got to wait for your moment. And one thing you can do in this situation, because no one likes to feel like they're stalling, is you can try to increase the pressure on your opponent by putting on a tighter crossface or using the underhook arm to open up their elbow. Those are two things that can kind of force a reaction. You can see how the elbow's away from the body there. That's going to open up opportunities to go for the mount, to go for the arm lock. I'm just focused right now on keeping the pressure. But what's going to end up happening is I'm going to lift him up. He starts to bridge, and I'm going to step over, looking to go for the arm lock. I kind of fell over there, and then he's getting up, and I finish while he's on his knees there with pushing his elbow against my hip. So kind of a modified arm lock finish. So a couple things there, just being able to adjust on the fly, being confident in your base and your balance, staying focused even when there's a couple minutes have gone by and there's only some few minutes left on the clock. You still sometimes just got to find a way to win. So, don't ever give up on yourself. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks. Bye.